My name is Lauren Taylor, and I'm from Baltimore, Maryland. I'm 24 years old, and I'm an intern here at Real Life Church. I work with the Young Adults program. I am from a Christian home. I grew up with great Christian parents. I always loved God. God was always a huge part of my life. But when I was 16, my parents decided to split up, and they were separated and divorced when I was 20. So during that period, I was no longer a part of a church, and I was no longer really living for Him. I think I lost what that meant. So when I was 18, me and my mom and my little sister and my little brother decided to move down to Florida. And you take little Christian Lauren and her little Christian bubble, and you put her down in Florida where it's just sunshine and parties, and I really wanted to be accepted. That was the biggest thing in my life, was I just wanted to be accepted. I never really had a huge group of friends. I never really felt like I belonged or like I was part of the crew. So I decided to start partying, and with a beer in my hand, I felt accepted. But this kind of started a downward spiral. So by the time I was 22, I was a full-blown alcoholic. And I wouldn't admit it to myself because I don't think I really knew what that meant, but I couldn't go a week without drinking. I couldn't go into a party and just be like, this is Lauren, and this is who I am, and this is me. I was ruining everything in my life, everything that mattered, all of the relationships that really mattered. There was just a night where I was out with a friend, and I just got blackout drunk, and I hurt her physically, and I hurt my mom physically, and I don't barely remember any of it other than what they tell me. But from what my mom tells me, I said things to her that I would never say, that even her worst enemy wouldn't be able to hurt her that bad. 5 times my mom tried to come and get me. 5 times she tried to get me in her car and tried to save me from myself. And I said no, and I ran away again. So she left me. It's just all she could do. She ended up calling the cops because I was hurting her, and so I ran, and she left, and I ended up walking the streets. After that, I was still living out of my car at that point, and I decided, all right, it's time to get my life together. So I ended up living with my 2nd grade teacher, and she took me in, and she really taught me what it means to be sober, with a lot of tough love and with a lot of harsh realizations of how I was acting, and how I was taking all of the blame and shoving it on everybody else. And she knew that if I didn't change my attitude towards the world, that I wasn't gonna get sober. Before then, I really didn't understand what hope was. I didn't understand that my life could get better. I had reached a point where, after my parents' divorce and after the just multitude of storms that my family had been through, that hope just wasn't a possibility for me. I had a friend, Brittany, and she started taking me to church and got me involved with a youth group, and I started really understanding what it meant to live for God. And God was just showing up in all of these different places in my life, showing me that there's people that really do love me, and showing me that His love for me just transcends everything, and transcends everything that I have ever done in my past. Everything that I had known about the Bible, everything I grew up learning about the Bible, had just become so real to me that I wanted to sink myself more into it, and I wanted to learn more. So I did. So I came out here October of 2012, and I was 7 months sober. And right now I'm going on 2 years sober. And that line alone has so much hope in it. There's so much hope in my life. There's so much realization that things have gotten better. Not that things will get better, things have gotten better, and that God doesn't just want to throw storms at you over and over and over again, but He wants to give you a hope for a better future, and a future that only He can really, truly produce in your life.